When I started painting in the late 70s, it was the alleyways, it was the nightclubs, it was people on drugs, people strung out on whatever pills, chills, drunk, marvelous people, intelligent people, conceptual people, whatever. So these are my kind of people.
He is, in my opinion, the Keith Haring, the Jean-Michel Basquiat to a certain degree of all this. Had he been in New York in the 80s during those movements, he would have been right there alongside of all of these artists.
This exhibit is called Jazz Noir. They're not portraits of jazz musicians whatsoever. They're only feelings, impressions. It's a little bit inspired by the film noir genre. I immersed myself in music, jazz music this time. Listening to Billie Holiday, some Chet Baker, Miles Davis, Nina Simone, and I jammed with my paintbrush and my black ink on some paper, different sizes. I took some old canvases that I painted with some black acrylic and I did some collage. Gave me the impression of like those postered walls in the alleyways or some streets of different cities.
There's no way, in my opinion, that you can possibly not know of his work and not know who he is.
It's a mountain of glass.
You see this image all over the city, or you hear about this individual, you develop this romantic, mysterious notion of who this person is. The event that we're speaking about was called Les Baumes sur la Main. This area that we're talking about, which is really interesting, is the red light district of Montreal. So if you grew up in the shadows of the city throughout the 70s, 80s, 90s, it's a place that's very familiar to most of us. But this other building, which is actually right on the corner, and it's called Café Cléo. It's actually a strip club. And ZIlon is very well aware of the place. I'm aware of it. Everyone's aware of this place. So I thought it would be something that would be personal to him to be able to kind of be able to come in and do something that showed a sign of solidarity between Montrealers, make a little bit of a statement. The idea was to find a group of artists that were of a certain caliber, with a certain reputation. One of the first people that came to mind was ZIlon.
Nous sommes sur la rue Saint-Laurent, près de la rue Sainte-Catherine-Ouest, près du fameux, infamous Cléopâtre. Le Cléopâtre, c'est l'endroit où on retrouve des lap dancing à $10, les dames de la nuit, les travestis, et other beautiful losers. We were invited by le Quartier des Spectacles to do the entire street because there's a lot of vacant stores, restaurants. And they asked me to do one near the Café Cléopâtre. And since I was part of those beautiful losers, I improvised like a portrait. And I had a friend to help me to do the lettering too, called Sterling. So we had quite an interesting experience, and I do like what the project gave because it's like an open gallery to everybody, from the hookers to the junkies to the business people to the young and very fashionable people, those fashionistas. This is the type of galleries I like, you know. I don't mind to be in galleries, but I still have my favorite place, the streets. It's very colorful, it's an explosion, it's sort of an androgyne type of creature, Creature of the Night. And it's an homage to Le Café Cléopâtre. When I was painting the work, you had a lot of like girls, the striptease girls coming in and check it out. You know, I like better those critics. They loved it. And I gave, you know, it was a gift for those people, for those ladies.
He's a master artist. He can work with any medium necessary. You put anything in his hand, he can do whatever he wants with it. But it's the same way that you feel growing up seeing his work or coming across it or discovering it in a hidden place in a bar and maybe a toilet in a back alley or somewhere where he might have left his mark one night when he was finished clubbing and maybe ran around with a marker or been in that club clubbing that night and left a mark in the bathroom. It's just interesting to actually be able to work with that person. I mean, it's like under the veil of darkness or under the veil of anonymity, it's really fun.
Basically, I'm trying to do some paintings for, I think, 4 nights on this site called the Festival of Fashion and Design of Montreal. J'en fais 2, j'en fais 3. 2 par soir. But this, you know, there was a sort of technical problem in the beginning. The surface was waving with the wind and things like that. It was not the perfect situation for me. Before I break the damn fucking thing, they gotta put something safe before I do it. You know, it's only rock and roll, but I like it, so. But I think I know now a little bit how to work my things for this special event. When I work in a studio, when I work in a different environment, I do different things, and I have to adapt to the environment. It feels like I don't have my space anymore. I'm invaded. I have to perform. I have to quote and please people, and I try to please myself first, but it's hard to get to that point because it's a performance. It's like rock and roll, you know, you have an electric guitar around your neck and you have to fucking play the damn thing for a lot of people around you. Live painting, performance art, it takes a lot of your energy somewhere. It's me doing the show, so it's like basically I have to perform and do something that's interesting. It's my head on the block. Like I said, why so serious? It's like you look at the 6 o'clock news, everything is going wrong. Pollution, BP going wild, other companies polluting the seas, people getting poisoned by food, people driving cars, faulty cars, children getting kidnapped, whatever. It's all crazy in this fucking world. So it's my own punk way. It's like I'm a one-man band, a punk band. So, but my electric guitar is my spray paint or my paintbrush or my marker. And since the 70s, I'm still doing the same thing in a way. Like by doing that, I recognize myself in the 80s, and I'm having my fun that I had in the 80s and the 70s. So I'm giving back my fun, my pleasure. Spray paint for me, it's like it's crude, it's rough, it's raw, and I like that summer roughness. It's a character that transforms sometimes. Androgyne, it's not a woman, it's not a man. He or she is a spokesperson of what I feel, what I think. My alter ego, my evil twin. Somebody probably I would like to meet eventually.